And let's go ahead and pull up my channel. All right, it's November the 11th, 2025. This year is almost over. We've got less than 60 days in the year to finish out decently and somewhat in order. I'm Chad Curligan. I am solving for X, which is my own problem. How will I retire comfortably? Welcome to the 5-year millionaire journey or process, something that I'm taking myself through. So when I enter in my retirement years, I'm not eating government cheese and drinking powdered milk, nor relying upon some other sort of government assistance, because we've just seen recently what the government can do. They can turn that off. Well, as the title of this live stream reads, 400K as a W-2 in 3 years with a goose egg, zero left over. And I'm starting over for my retirement. I am 50 years old. That's public information. You can find it anywhere. You could look it up. You could search it out, or you can get a good gauge. However, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm up to. And I'm glad you're here. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends. I'm an average guy, so to speak, with average problems like most other people, trying to solve for X, which are my own problems. I am married. I do have kids. I do have grandkids, and I'd like to leave some type of legacy for them. Some type of legacy. What's interesting about this whole process is I've had to make some pretty major adjustments. I've had to make some mental shifts to change my future trajectory, but I had to do it up here before I do it out in the world. It all started on a motorcycle ride when I got to thinking, man, I'm just wasting time. What can I do to reallocate that time to something that's more beneficial for myself into the future, me and myself and my family. With where I'm at life cycle wise, pretty much in the fourth quarter of the game, I've got to give it all gas to pull this one out, but I don't have to do it in such a way that destroys my body or my character or who I am. Yeah. So there you go. $400,000. I did earn $400,000 as a W-2 employee in the last 3 years, 2024, 23, and 22. I am in a sales role plus commission. So I had a pretty good couple of years. But as I look back over my whole entire working career since like 96 or 95, somewhere in there, that was not always the case. It's mainly been within these last 3 years and currently in my current year that I'm doing all right financially. However, where I have failed, the place where I have failed is in the proper planning early on. So I wouldn't try to have to finish the game up in the fourth quarter, where I wouldn't have to use the fourth quarter as a last effort, last ditch resort with a couple of Hail Marys or buzzer beaters, as exciting as those are and as they sound. Generally speaking, I'm a routine guy. I like my routines. I pretty much eat the same thing every day, and I like things that way. But I guess in this particular area of my life, I've practiced a lot of bad financial habits. And it is true. The saying is true. the more you make, the more you spend. You fill the gap. There's a saying about time. There is a saying about specific time, like work time or time allowance. And the effect of the saying is this: the more time you give to a project from here to here, you will fill in the gap. And I think that's called the Hawthorne effect. You can look that up. Don't take my word for it. But the more time you are given for a project, you will fill that time up. So let's say you give yourself 3 days, you'll take 3 days. If you give yourself 1 day, you'll figure it out. And this is why you know that's true. When you were prepping to go on your most recent vacation right before you were leaving the office for work, you were crushing the office goals. You were getting stuff done. You were getting projects turned in on time. You were getting packing done. You were getting the house taken care of so you can return to a clean house. Maybe that's not all of you. Maybe that's only a part of you. But you get the point and you get the gist. If given enough time, when given lots of time, you will fill up the time. But now we're in the fourth quarter, don't have lots of time. So we got to be really dialed in and zeroed in on how we make this happen. All right. So just to give you a little recap, a few weeks ago, I was riding the motorcycle. I got to thinking, hey, what time can I reutilize? I looked at my Instagram. I was wasting 2.5 hours a day. We'll say it's like 2:15, but 2.5 hours a day, mindlessly swiping left and right, looking at who's doing what. And I still look at Instagram. I'm down to about under 30 minutes a day. I still want to chip that down a little bit more, but I'm more cognizant and more aware of how I was using that time and how I'm currently using that time. But the goal is to keep monitoring that, keep watching that, keep paying attention, because the things that get monitored and get watched, that's where you can make some changes. And since then, I've had a few different meetings and I've done a few different things to reallocate, to take that time back and put it in a place that's going to help me in my future years, which I'm pretty excited about. Yes, I am partaking in a nice cold beverage. Now, so from that bike ride until today, I've taken some minor steps in action, but major steps in movement. And here's what I've done. I've recorded 5 different videos on retiring later in life and how to plan for it. And look, I'm not your financial advisor or planner or certified financial planner. I'm one guy working through my own problems, solving for X, so I can go into my retirement years a little more comfortable, a little more well prepared. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to go into that life prepared a little bit better than I am today, and also to leave behind something other than bills and debt. I did hear something today on the radio. The guy said, hey, when he was referencing a book, and he says, when you leave an inheritance to your kids, generally speaking, contextually speaking, it was a house, a paid for house, generational wealth. That is probably more unlikely for most today than way back then, but I think those principles still apply. For the most part, most Americans, what they're going to leave to their kids are bills and debts and trauma and issues, which, most people can claim they have something, but if you're an adult, you can't keep blaming your youth years on something that happened a long time ago. So with that being said, in the journey I'm on, the 5-year, $1 million, I have a goal to make $1 million within 5 years. And I'm doing that publicly on my channel, and also being a little more open to some conversational context that I wouldn't normally share. Go back on the other videos. You can kind of get a running start. Look, but if what you want is somebody to tickle your ears and to take you through something super fast that it's taken you 45 years to get to where you are today, this is not your place to be. I'm just having a regular conversation. Now, it may feel like I'm talking at you. However, I'm not. I'm really talking at myself. We've all been in a place where we made bad decisions, and we've all acted idiotically in some points, and we've all had bad things befall us. However, we can make better decisions, and we can learn more and improve and share the process and share the journey. And I hope you're along with me. So there's a link in the description. If you want to join the community, click the link. It's a no charge thing. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just having a conversation for myself and memorializing on YouTube so the people that I love can see that, my dad was all right. Chad was all right. He's probably more open in his older years than he was in his younger years. And he's, not ashamed to share parts of the journey. But this journey is mainly on finances. Yeah, mainly on finances. So that's what we're up to today. Hopefully you like, subscribe, and share. Even if you know me from times past, the guy you knew, 30 or 40 years ago is not the same guy. The guy you knew 10 years ago is not the same guy. I am the guy that's in front of you right now, moving forward I'm not even close to retirement. I've got a bunch of years left. But if we can get this done in 5 years, who knows what happens? I love to work. I work a full-time job, full-time career. It's in sales. And I do have the awesome opportunity to earn a small fee off of my transactions. So that's amazing. So I get a salary, and then I have a chance to earn a small fee. But getting back to my title, so I earned just slightly above $400,000 in the last 3 years, from 2022, 2023, and 2024. And I am starting over, which is interesting to say, because it's not really over, starting from zero, but I could have been a lot further ahead if I implemented some of the things that I'm going to talk about today, right now. This is nothing new. You've heard this before. You've heard this from pretty much everybody. Save for a rainy day, put money aside, because you never know what's going to come up, especially when you have some sort of windfall of commissions. I've had that a couple times. But again, the story is true. The Hawthorne effect. You will feel the time allotment given, right? So in the perfect example of that is, you take hockey is 3/4. It's filled in 3/4. Basketball, football, 4/4, unless there's overtime. Baseball, depending on the age, but professionals, 9 innings, unless there's more, because there has to be a winner, and I want you to be a winner. Now, generally speaking, I'm not wearing a coat or a tie, but I am going dancing tonight. I do like to do a little salsa dancing, and that's what I'm going to do this evening. So this one is going to be a little bit shorter, a really quick hitter. And this is the space right here. This is the space that I rented when me and my ex-wife got divorced. Well, actually, this wasn't the first space. I was renting an old basement room from an elderly woman, who actually, there was a guy in the basement died, but however, anyway, so I'm here now, still have the space, and now it's kind of just turned into my office and my YouTube studio, which I'm pretty glad, pretty cool. It's a nice spot. Those 2 lamps over there from thrift shops. I'm a thrift guy. That one over the lamp over there is it's super nice. You can't really see it, but it's got some super nice artistic painting on the glass. And the table that it's sitting on, it's a cabinet. It's a sewing cabinet where the sewing machine is below it. I earned $400,000 in 3 years as a W-2 employee. Squandered it, wasted it all, kind of like the prodigal son. Now I got to start over. The good news is I'm not living in the muck and the mire and slopping around with the hogs. I still have my whereabouts and some way about me, and I believe I can continue down this trajectory, increasing my earnings, increasing my retirement savings. There's zero in it now, but increasing my retirement savings, and not only from W-2 work, but what I'm doing currently, which I'm happy to share with you guys. So click the link in my description there. That's just to join the community. I'm not selling anything on that link. That's just to be with like-minded individuals sharing their journey to change their future for themselves and those that they love. Excuse me. All right, I'm back. All right, so let's get back to it, and let's start getting back to this conversation on the 5-year, $1 million, making some major changes. You have to make major changes, and the biggest shift that you'll have to make is in your mind and in your habits, and that's kind of what I'm having to do. Where are you wasting time? Capturing that time, reallocating that time, and putting it back into something that's useful for you and your family in the future. One of the quick ways, social media, obviously, but you can look at your activity reports or activity settings, and it'll show you how much time you're spending on any one of the applications. So you can probably do that with any of your streaming services as well. But where I'm at currently, with the exception of a couple of things, if I am not improving myself physically, mentally, with the people that I love, and it's not earning me money, or I'm not working, I don't want, or if it's not a couple other hobbies that I partake in, which is general aviation and riding my motorcycle and jiu-jitsu, I don't want any part of it. I don't want to hang out with people who are talking about other people. I want to put myself in a position where I'm challenged mentally, and where I am challenged about how I view and see things, but also I'm challenged in my income. So I looked at Instagram, 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes, 2.5 hours a day, 17 hours a week. I've captured a lot of that time back, and I put it into a couple areas that will make me money slowly. Now, if you want to know what making money slowly is, that would be, you maybe work at the gas station and you make 15 or 20 bucks an hour for a couple hours a day. So by the end of the week, you have 20 hours of earnings, or 10 hours of earnings if it's 2 hours times 5 days a week. I have a couple options here so a couple of things that I'm going to just touch on. So anyways, I got to get my income up, got to manage my bad financial habits, which is really, the more money you make, the more money you spend. Major changes, and what's the go forward strategy? My income, 400K as a W-2 over the last 3 years, pretty much with zero left over. Having to start over for retirement at 50, but I believe it's going to be a lot of hard work, but I think there's some things we can do to get there. Other than your W-2, you can go work a second job. You can go do Uber Eats. You can go do one of these other things to earn more money. As long as you're earning money, here's what you're not doing. As long as you're out there earning money, you're not out there spending money. I mean, obviously you can do it on the phone, on a device. You can do it on Amazon. You can do it a whole host of ways. But if you're somewhere and you're working for your future, hopefully you're not spending it as it comes in. Now, if you're like most Americans, what we're doing is we're behind. So we have to work more to catch up to the baseline. And if that's you, you just got to do what you got to do. Hey, there's no shame in having to do what you have to do. Put bread on the table and some resources into the future so you're not eating government cheese and drinking powdered milk. Bad financial habits pretty much means you're just have bad financial habits, but you can change those. It's going to take some effort. Ask me how I know. As far as on the income side, what I am specifically doing, I have a couple of things that I'm doing that's other than my regular 60-hour week career, which a salary and a little bit of commission. I am going into financial services, which kind of the entry, and I've been in it before, which is on the lines of family protection, so some life insurance type things, and then also I have a line for commercial business credit. If you need any other services, just shoot me a message. Use that link in the description down below, and just tell me what you're thinking, and then I'll catch up with you that way. So that's two ways I'm going to increase my income slowly, because those take time, energy, and effort and work. But what I'm doing with those is I'm creating value in the marketplace that over time grows. And as long as I keep doing these things at a moderate pace, by the time I get to the other side, which is, 15 or 20 years down the line, hopefully sooner than that, I should be doing all right. But if you look at all sorts of stories, sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. But I am pretty excited about doing this. So, life insurance and some other products along the way, plus commercial finance. If you have a business anywhere in the country except California and Arizona, I do have commercial financing available, and we could talk about that too. Now, you may ask me, hey, well, what's your experience and are you a professional? Well, my experience in the insurance is I've done it before, but I left because I got taken to the cleaners by an old, something didn't work out and it gave me a bad taste, but we let that go because now structurally wise, what I'm doing now as I get there, is more beneficial and the process is more seamless. So income, we got to increase our income so we can put money away. I did max out my work 401k. Pretty excited about that. I've never done that before, but I listened to Charlie Munger and another financial expert, Dave Ramsey. And so I said, okay, let's max it out and we'll figure it out later. So yeah, it's maxed out. Boom. Bad financial habits. I am still spending money on some things that are really, enjoyable for me, riding the motorcycle and learning to fly small airplanes, general aviation, Cessna 172 out of KSLE. So that's that whole thing. So I'm still spending money on some things, but I am not spending money on the things that I cannot account for. So that's going to be a lot of your $6 coffees or your convenience type things because I decided not to make a sandwich. You could buy $18 sandwiches these days for lunch. That's crazy. So there we go. So those are some of the things that I am foregoing. Increasing my income, stop making bad decisions, or make less bad decisions because some decisions end up being bad that we thought might be good to begin with. And then some changes, just being around people physically, right? And then also studying up on some people. It's kind of almost the same thing. I just don't have the direct connection. And so my go forward plan is to continue down this path and share it with you. It is not easy. I've not done it. I've been trying to search on YouTube to find anybody else who's started late retirement and have successfully achieved some measurable results that they are proud of. It's starting to come up a little bit more, but this is the conversation that I'm having. And so far it's been enjoyable. It's been a lot of fun, and it's cool to share with you guys, a bunch of people that I don't even know. So join the community. It's just an email group, and I'll send some things out occasionally about some of the successes that I'm having and what I'm up to. Or don't join it. I don't care. Really, this is about me solving for X, which is my own problems. How do I go into retirement a little better off than I am today? You can ask me anything you want to ask me. But I've done something recently, and I'm kind of thinking about this too. Okay, well, what else are you doing besides some of those things that you just mentioned? Well, I just pull my credit report to see what's in here that I need to just get taken care of, or see if it's reporting accurately and what I need to take care of, just like most average Americans. I have a stack of old letters and bills that I've found over here, so I'm just going to go through that stuff. And just see what's on there. Because the only way I believe to do a lot of this is to become super overzealous and take ownership. And so a lot of that I'm going to do here with relation to this conversation, the 5-year, $1 million plan. $1 million in 5 years. That is the plan. That's the goal. That's where I'm headed. And I'm glad you're here for the ride. I hope it's helpful for you. If you have ideas, or if you've gone through this, or know of anybody close to you that has started at 50 from zero, didn't have a big inheritance, and still retired somewhat comfortable, not eating government cheese or drinking powdered milk, I'd like to hear about it. Tag them in the comments down below. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.